Okay, so we will continue exploring our graph database, and this time we will shift our focus to Bollywood cinema. And what I'm going to do today is to explore connection between actors who have won Dada Saheb Phalke Award to Dada Saheb Phalke himself. So, as we know, Dada Saheb Phalke is popularly known as father of Indian cinema. He was born in 1870 and died in 1944, and he was responsible for first Indian film. And okay, and then there is a prestigious award which is given to the contributors in Indian cinema, and there are many award winners. And what we are going to do is to figure out how those award winners are related to Dada Saheb Phalke using data that we have stored in our graph database. Okay, so the first winner, Devika Rani, is obvious. And now let's go to the last winner, who is Rajnikant, and let's try to explore whether Rajnikant and Dada Saheb Phalke has any connection. They definitely have not worked together because Rajnikant probably was born after Dada Saheb Phalke had died. Yeah, so it's like 1950. So, but let's see if there was someone with whom Rajnikant and Dada Saheb Phalke both have worked together. Okay, so let's run our Cypher query first to get this artist Dada Saheb Phalke. And then we'll see like who are all the actors worked in the movies and with which Dada Saheb Phalke was associated. So Dada Saheb Phalke's real name was Dundiraj Govind Phalke. So we'll use that name in our query. So the first principle we are going to search is this. Okay, so after my common mistakes, I'm going to, and let's say, return P. So we should be getting one. Okay, so we have this node for Dada Saheb Phalke. Now let's see what are all movies in which with which he was associated in various capacities. Then we do always. So now we will find all the movies and will return P and M both. So, okay, so now if we have to find whether in any of these movies in which Dada Saheb Phalke worked, has Rajnikant also worked in those movies? So let's try to find that, and we need exact name for okay, so in these movies, which is in which there is a worked in relation with the another principle, let's call P2, and with name okay, so there is oh, I see. I think it will take some time before I write this query in my first attempt. Okay, so there is no common record. Let's just make sure that Rajnikant's name is spelled in IMDb in the same way in which we have spelled here. So okay, so I think this is correct. This is how he is named. So yeah, okay. I'll just put this thing. Okay, so now because he has not worked directly with Dada Saheb Phalke as expected, we will try to find some, if there are some intermediate links between this. So now we'll try to find all the movies. Okay, now I'll start naming this more meaningfully. So all the actors. So let's say if it was not Rajnikant, whoever it was, has he worked in such a movie? Let's say he worked. Let me call it W2. Worked in a movie. Let's say this is another movie. This is M2, and let's try to find all the actors in this movie if they are named Rajnikant. Okay, so let's try to M, and then there is another relationship. Let's call it W3, and then this one will give us all the principles. And here we will try to find. Okay, so and we will just return all those. Let's call it P3. So we'll get M2 and P2 and P3. So P3, as we are expecting, is Rajnikant, and P2 are all the ones who are in between, and M are the movies which is like Dada Saheb, Phalke and in between actors, and M2 is the movie which is common between those in between actors and Rajnikant. So now let's see if there are any such records. Okay, so there are no. So so that means there are no. Uh, okay, so there are no common connection between Rajnikant. So let's go one step further and continue doing the same thing. So instead of finding this relation P3, let's try to add one more relation, and let's see if we can connect Rajnikant and Dada Saheb Phalke with two actors in between. So this is principal. Now let's say we go to, okay, let's go to movies directly. So if I just put double dash, that means I'm omitting the relationship structure in between, and I'm going directly to movies. So these are going to be, let's say, M3s, and in these M3 movies, and let's say if there are some other participants which are P4, and now here we'll put the same condition. So our P4 now is Rajnikant, and there are two connections which is like P2 and P3 in between P and P4, and let's now return M3 and P4. Okay, oh, I see. So there are many. Now this is interesting to explore. So if we have to explore this, okay, because there are many, let me just try to restrict it and limit, let's say 20. Now we should be able to get at least one connection in between. Now, okay, so let's put Rajnikant on one side and Dada Saheb Phalke on other. Okay, so one connection is that, okay, that Dada Saheb Phalke has worked in a movie called Malvikagnimitra. Oh, I see. So, okay, so you see the connection here. Okay, so this is very interesting because you see this connection is because you see here the writer is Kalidas and here is Valmiki. So, because he has worked in the movies that are based on these two historical writers, probably will not be interested in these two because this doesn't seem to be very interesting connection, but there is a connection nevertheless. So we have Lankadahan, in which Dada Saheb Phalke worked, which was written by Valmiki, and then there was a movie. So let's first explore this thing, Sita, in which this guy, again for which writer was Valmiki, what is his name, Achi Manorama has worked, and Achi Manorama and Rajnikant has worked together in this movie, Villaipura Ondru. Okay, and similarly you can find other connections, and yeah, okay, so this one, let's try to find some more connections. So let me put this limit instead of 20, let me put it 100 so that we can explore it a little further. If these are the only, okay, so now looks like there are more connections that are starting. So let's try to explore this one from here. Okay, so now we find another connection which is not Valmiki or Ved Vyas or anything like that. So this is Kusum Deshpande. Okay, so Dada Saheb Phalke worked with Kusum Deshpande. Kusum Deshpande worked with Seema, and Seema then worked with Rajnikant. Okay, so this is one connection, and now let's try to find the movies that are common between these two persons. Okay, so the common movies are these. So like Bhuka Sher, in which Seema and looks like Rajnikant has worked together. So this movie was released in 1984, and Seema worked with Kushum Deshpande in a movie called what is this? Prapanch, that was released in 1961. Okay, so we can see we are traveling back in time, and Kushum Deshpande was the one who worked with Dada Saheb Phalke in this movie called, what is the movie, Ganga Avtaran, and Ganga Avtaran was released in 1937. So Kushum Deshpande, if you see, okay, so we don't have her birth and death here. Probably she is less known artist. And okay, then Seema, I think we don't have birth and death here for her as well. But yeah, I think it's we should use some other platform to explore those people. But from here, yeah, we can try to trace the relation between how Rajnikant and Dada Saheb Phalke are related to the various artists. Now, Ved Vyas, again, he's yeah, we all know who he is. Okay, there is another interesting connection who is through, that is through Bhaurao Datar. Okay, so Dada Saheb Phalke worked with Bhaurao Datar worked with Lalita Pawar, and then Lalita Pawar, she has worked with Rajnikant directly. You can see there is a movie called Introduction in which Lalita Pawar worked and Rajnikant also worked. Okay, so now we can see that we can connect these two great personalities of Indian cinema through two artists in between. Yeah, they have not worked together. They definitely are separated with the longer history. Uh, okay, I think that's all for this time. And yeah, we can use, okay, so now sometime we will try to optimize this query because this one seems very long and we can just keep going through this chain, but there are some shortcuts that we can use to minimize the length of this query. Probably we'll explore that at some